And a jolly good morning to you from a rather chilly, overcast Saturday morning here in South London, and to be more precise, Wimbledon, where this is, and welcome to the beginning of part 3 of my walk around the Sutton, or maybe you call it Wimbledon Loop. If you've seen parts 1 and 2, you'll have seen the walk from Streatham to Sutton via Mitcham and Carshalton, and part 2 from Sutton to here in Wimbledon via various other Sutton and Wimbledon stations, South Morden, Morden South and St Helier, to name just a few. And today I'm going to walk back to Streatham to complete the loop part of the Sutton Loop, and the first stop will be Hayden's Road. So without any further ado, I'm going to head on in the direction of Hayden's Road. As I'm stood here now, I've got absolutely no idea which way I'm going to be going, because I haven't looked at my map yet, but I'll be using the Go Jauntly app, which should take me a, relatively speaking, more interesting route back to Streatham rather than, say, Google Maps. So I've been using that so far. I'll continue today, so let's head on towards our first stop on part 3, Hayden's Road. Right, so we're off, and it seems to be sending me off in this general direction via Tesco Metro, which is quite handy because I was going to pop in there and grab a couple of snacks. It's quite a nice little town, Wimbledon, actually, in terms of facilities and its connectivity with loads of places, really. It's got a very good, it's got the District Line on the London Underground. It's got southwest trains going down towards Hampshire and Dorset, and of course the southwest trains going in the opposite direction into London, various other commuter belt towns, and Thameslink, which will take you around the Sutton Loop and ultimately north through the centre of London towards Bedford, Cambridge, Luton Airport and such like. So it's a very well connected place, and on this Saturday morning I'm hopefully heading the right way down Queen's Road. Aubergine art, interesting. If you see my other 2 episodes, you'll see we are in smack bang in a huge city of London, so obviously a lot of what you'll see are suburbs and residential areas, but I did come across some quite interesting places. Carshalton certainly surprised me, was a lot nicer than I was expecting it to be. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest, to be brutally honest about it. And of course, going through Mitcham, there was Mitcham Common, which was also a nice green space for people to get out about in relatively fresh air. Always a good thing in a big city. Hayden's Road, the first stop, is not very far. It's just over a mile, should take about 25 minutes or so to get there. And the longer stretches on this part of the loop are between Hayden's Road and Tooting, and then Tooting back to Streatham. It is probably the shortest of the 3 sections I've done. The other 2 with winding and going down, following the green route, if you like, on the Go Jauntly app, which doesn't necessarily take you the quickest way. It'd probably take you the more interesting way. Were walks of approximately 8 miles, I would say 8 to 8.5 miles in both cases. I think this is going to be nearer to 5 at the end of it, but we shall see. Depends quite how windy I get with the Go Jauntly app. Straight down this road, really, nothing much down here. Once you get past the Centre Court shopping centre. I don't know how they came up with that name, but there you go. So just heading off down Prince's Street, I think this is. Nice little residential area. Quite close to the centre of Wimbledon too. Very royal royally named streets here. So we've gone from Queen's to Prince's, and I think this is King's Road. So I'm routed around the outside of these gardens called South Park, of all names. So but I think if there's an entrance along this road, I should actually go in there and just take a walk through. Looks quite popular on a Saturday morning with dog walkers and so on and so forth. Rather strangely for parks and gardens, there seems to be a limited number of access points to it. So I'm just going to go inside here, have a little look around and come straight back out. Doesn't seem to be... I know where I'm going to go actually, because down the end of here I'm taking a left turn. But I shall deviate from this route somewhat. Head through the park, see what's going on. Looks like a few Saturday morning exercise classes on the go. And yeah, in fact there's a few actually. Outdoor, it's been a very cold day for it. You need to keep moving today. This is a nice park actually. This is gardens, very nice indeed. And I shall just go out by that other exit I can see over there and take a nice left turn back in the direction that the app was sending me. Oh, this is what's this, 5-10 minute walk from Wimbledon station. Nice place to go and spend the time, drink a coffee and have some sandwiches if you're on your break. Road now, South Park Gardens Conservation Area. That's interesting. Conservation area. Now, hopefully conserving the general aesthetic of the place, because the houses along here are well established, as you can see. There we go, filming directly into homes and things, but some lovely houses along here, and I presume the conservation is to conserve the homes and the dwellings along here from redevelopment too much, to keep them looking how they should look, and nothing, no wild unpleasant developments going on, which is a good thing if that's what it actually is. But if anyone knows what the conservation is as such, let me know in the comments section. I'll be interested to hear about that. That's a lovely little area. Jauntly quite clearly wanted me to see that, because that was quite a substantial deviation away from the most direct route to Hayden's Road, because I've gone round in a semicircle back over Queen's Road again. So Queen's Road was where I turned off to the right, back up there, quarter of a mile or so. But that's what's great if you're going on a walk where you want to actually see something of interest and just not be walking down a busy main road or dual carriageway as the shortest walking route. Use something like Go Jauntly. Others are available, I always have to say, and take a more leisurely wander around places, and it's surprising what you see. And those gardens and that little conservation area there are a prime example of that. And this is the Sutton Loop Line, and looking in the direction of Hayden's Road, just around that curve there, I think it is. So presumably taking a right turn along here somewhere. Onwards. Predicted a right turn onto Hayden Park Road. As we're heading to Hayden's Road station, that it sounds quite promising, and we're heading in the right direction now. interested to see if we go anywhere near Hayden's Park. Presumably there is a park called Hayden's. Again, lovely houses down here, lovely facades on the front. The extremely expensive area to buy a house with its location to central London, generally being quite a nice part of London, and world famous name as well, of course. Wimbledon in itself probably adds a fair few percent onto house prices, as does the postcode. If you like living in big cities, of course. Well, I'm not actually sure where Hayden Park is, if indeed there is a park. I've come to the end of the road. And I'm just trying to see what the name of this road is. I can't actually see it at the moment, but anyway, the right turn over there is Hayden's Road Station, so I shall just get there and set up to the next and probably longest section of this walk, which should be from here to Tooting. So that's Hayden's Road, off to Tooting now. There's a few stations in Tooting. Tooting Broadway, Tooting Beck, which are on the underground. Maybe some others that I cannot think of right now, but Tooting British Rail Station, Thameslink Station, is the one that we're heading to. And I had a choice here, the fast route, which is about a 25-minute walk, I think it said, and the green route, which is about a 45-minute walk. I'm most definitely taking the green route today. I'm sure that's going to be far more interesting than just walking along this main road here, which is there's Queen's Road again. We've crossed that a couple of times now. I think that used to be a pub there. Certainly looks like it probably was at one time. Caxton Road. It's going to come to a park down the end here, or I think it's Garfield Road Recreation Ground. And I'm slightly surprised by it. I didn't realise it came this way, but the River Wandle, which we came across in part 1 round at Carshalton and Mitcham area, also flows through here in Wimbledon. And the River Wandle goes from somewhere around Croydon area through to the River Thames, Wandsworth. And there is a trail called the Wandle Trail. And I've put that on my list of things to do, walks to do. So I'll be probably crossing this path, maybe from a different angle at some time in the fairly near future. But that sounds like a very interesting walk. And although I've obviously walked down small areas of the Wandle Trail so far on this walk, I plan to walk the entirety of it. So as I say, there might be a bit of duplication. And welcome to the walk and talk movement, Plough Lane, AFC Wimbledon Foundation. There we go. Just had a quick look at the map actually. I'm going to be walking alongside the Wandle for a little way past Collier's Wood, which is quite interesting and quite a pleasant surprise actually. I didn't realise I'd be walking along a river this morning. I always like walking along rivers, and if you like seeing walks along rivers, I do have a 9-episode marathon from Leagrave near Luton to the River Thames along the River Lee, through Bedfordshire, Hertfordshire, North London, East London, and eventually dumping off into that big River Thames. So you might find that interesting. If it is, then subscribe to the channel, click on the channel, have a look, you'll soon find them there. Interestingly, I was expecting the river to be flowing from left to right. I'm not entirely sure why I thought that. Just in my mind, that's the direction it would be flowing. So I've clearly lost my bearings somewhere here, because this is the Wandle and it's flowing from right to left. And so if you canoe up there, you will eventually end up in Croydon. And if you canoe in that direction, you will eventually end up at Wandsworth and the River Thames. It's looking reasonably clean, although unfortunately rivers that go through big cities do have a habit of finding rubbish landing in them. I shall refrain from my usual rant about littering, because actually around here in Wimbledon it isn't too bad so far. And I think I just need to refer to my map. I think I'm going down that way, and I'm delighted to report that I am, because this looks by far the most interesting direction to be going on, along the river itself. Hopefully, we have had quite a bit of rain recently. Hopefully the sort of dry cold weather that's been here for the last week or so has dried it up a bit, because again, I've not really got the shoes for walking through muddy countryside, as this is essentially there's a fox looking at me. What's he gonna do? Yeah, run away. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I was walking a city walk. I'm not really... I think those birds are a bit distressed, maybe the foxes, and I spoke too soon about the littering, didn't I? Unfortunately. Look at that. Disgusting. Who's done that? You should be ashamed of yourselves, whoever you are. But I don't suppose they are. I was going to be going up there onto the North Road, apparently that's called. But there's this little underpass where looks like various nefarious activities may take place at times. But such is life. Okay, so we are going this way, back over the river. This river's got its own smell. I noticed this yesterday when I was in somewhere around Carshalton, and sort of soapy smell, a bit like this kind of smell you get from a washing machine when there's nothing in it. Hard to describe other than that, but yeah, can smell it again today, so I'm presuming it is from the water. Interesting. But as I say, I'm going to be leaving the Wandle fairly soon. I will be back. I will do the Wandle Trail from Croydon to London to the River Thames, and I guess I'll be coming back down this path at some point in the other direction, following the flow of the river. Yeah, Connolly's Mill, the river goes straight through the centre of it, obviously, and there's quite a few mills so far that I've seen, or mentions on the map of where mills used to be, but I did come across one or two yesterday. Still going to walk along here just for a little bit yet. And there is where the water enters the mill. This is Wandle Bank. Obviously it's the River Wandle. I'm going into Wandle Park now, just over this little bridge. Again, today has been quite interesting. I actually expected, and again, I don't really know why I expected this, but I expected the section between Sutton and Wimbledon to be the most interesting, and I think I can safely say now, so far it's been the least interesting. This walk along here, this walk along here has been far more interesting than that central section, as was the section yesterday from on part one from Streatham through to Sutton. So it's surprising. It's been a very interesting walk indeed. And Wandle Park is clearly, apart from the grassy area here and the children's playground over there, kept to one side there for wildlife, birds and other habitats for other animals, letting it all grow. Sort of a watery, marshy area really over there, presumably fed by the river. It's not looking at its best in the middle of January, but I'm sure it's a good habitat for various wildlife that can survive and thrive in these parts of London. So, leaving the relative calm and tranquility of the riverside and the nature area and this Wandle Park for the, there you go, noisier, more urban parts of London as we head towards Tooting in that direction over there. Totally different vibe as you leave Wimbledon. There we go, we've got a Burger King and a Holiday Inn and noisier traffic and sort of more urban sprawl, I think you could probably say. So just to give a better understanding of where I am in London at the moment, obviously I've come out of Wimbledon. There's Collier's Wood Station, 2 minutes walk in that direction. I never noticed it and I've just come from that direction. Priory Retail Park, Merton Abbey Mills, 7 minutes walk. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to Merton Abbey Mills, but I'm being sent this way past the Kiss Me Hardy. No tittering. And that there is the Wandle again, coming down from left to right, taking a sharp left. And this bit here, which is a flowing river in its own right, is actually called Pickle Ditch. I thought that was a really nice name for something, as in pickled onions, Pickle Ditch. So there you go. We're going alongside that just for a moment or two, so we'll see where that leads us. Possibly a sign there that used to tell you all about it, or it's all about something here. Certainly a mention of Merton Abbey Mills there amongst the flaking paint on that sign. That could do with being reset up. Unfortunately, Pickled Ditch is rather blighted by some unnecessary littering and what have you down there. Next to this rather uninspiring but fairly typical kind of retail park with all the usual suspects in here. Just come up to the Minor or Myrna Close Nature Reserve. Doesn't look very big particularly, but every little bit helps. The Myrna Park Nature Reserve seems to be up that way, and my friends from Go Jauntly are sending me this way, so I better do as I'm told. And yeah, I can see why it's a nature reserve. There's lots of water and so on about that wildlife can thrive in. But I wish people wouldn't throw their litter in there as well. It's really not needed. And we're heading off out through this gate, I do believe. So, heading into the suburbs now a little bit more, and away from nature reserves and rivers and ditches and such like, and into Tooting. It's not too far from there now. Nice to see some electric chargers by the side of the road here. Nobody using them, of course. That's a strange little thing the Go Jauntly app's done here, actually. There may be a good reason for it, but it's just sent me just along those residential streets, really. And this here is the other end of the Myrna Nature Reserve. If looking on the map, at least. Now, unless there's something along here which means you can't walk all the way along, but that's where I diverted off to the right further back there. I could have carried on in a straight line and I would have actually come out here. Interesting, but anyway, you live and learn. Myrna, is that how we say it? M-Y-R-N-A. Mariner. This is Fleming Mead for anyone that knows this part of London. And we're just heading off down this public footpath to who knows where, but not very far down there. Again, it looks like a nice little footpath where everyone comes and decides they're going to drop their litter. Look at that. Dear oh dear. Shocking, but unsurprising in many ways. Abbey Orchard Estate, does that ring any bells with anybody? So through the relative calm of the residential streets there, and come out here in Tooting. That pub I've seen before, Gorringe Park. Not sure why I know about that, but I do. And here we are at Tooting Station, or at least the bus stop opposite it. And there's the next stop on this walk, Tooting Station. So I've just got to rejig my map slightly, ready for the next section, the final section, back to Streatham to complete this Sutton Loop. So this is, Tooting is quite a vibrant, so we're on Links Road now, just gone past Boscombe Road, and Cromer Road's coming up, and I'm going to take a left turn at, Eastbourne, so it's like seaside towns along here. There's Cromer Road just coming up. Apparently we're just going over the River Graveney here, because there's a little bridge, a little hump in the road, and a sign which might... Eastbourne Road Bridge. There it is, the River Graveney, rather manicured concrete channel it's going down. Freshwater Road now, heading up towards Fursdown Recreation Ground, I think it's called. Welcome to Tooting Commons. I love the fact it's plural. I'm in Wandsworth now instead of Merton. I've been in Merton for quite some time actually. I presume it's commons because there's roads running through the middle of it in one or two different directions, and I guess that splits it up. There's a footpath you can take right through the middle, but I think I'll avoid that actually. I have a feeling there might be some fairly muddy bits along there, and as I say, my shoes, my footwear are not really that suitable for muddy paths. Interesting looking boarded up building there with palm trees. Anyone know what that was? Park keeper's house, maybe? If this is a park, something like that. It's hanging baskets though, just outside of it there as well. That's, apart from the boarded up windows, you see it looks quite well kept. Very odd, very strange. I'm gonna have to go over and have a closer look. Well, there's a private sign on the gate and it says Fursdown Lodge. It's very strange, the fact it's boarded up. Be a bit noisy here for me personally, right on this roundabout. It looks like I'm heading down that way, across the road and down the footpath. One of the magical things about London is how much green space has been protected and it not just turned into completely a concrete jungle. Even right in the centre of London, many of you that have live in London or been there will know about the big parks, the royal parks. But there's so many more than that outside in the suburbs and outer reaches of London that aren't royal parks. They're just nice green spaces that are kept from development, which gets my vote every single time. Tooting Beck Athletics track just through there. I'm wondering to myself why I didn't know that even existed. Doesn't look like a major kind of place where events would be held, so perhaps that's why, but it certainly looks a reasonable facility to say the least, so I thought I would have kind of known about it. There you go. Acid grassland, that's interesting. Gonna have to have a nationally important habitat in London. Delicate, recognisable landscape. Wow. So good to see that these projects are underway and kept going. Important these places are maintained and preserved as best as we can, despite all the never-ending sprawl of cities taking things over. So that's good to see. I know the athletics track has got a turnstile. It's clear to see why it's called Tooting Commons, plural, as it certainly is a very large space, as you will see on the pictures now. And it is dissected by roads and pathways, and which is not a bad thing in many ways. It probably makes it more accessible, or more of it accessible. And there's certainly a fair old few people out here this morning. To my left, you can't really see them at the moment, but the other side of that car park and through the trees is a lot of football fields. And back there was the athletics track. I can see some tennis courts, I think, ahead. And all this massive open space and some more football fields over there. So it is, obviously I've heard of Tooting Common and Tooting Beck. I didn't realise it was quite so big. So another learning point for me today. That's what's so great about getting out on your feet and walking. If there's other than the healthy aspect of it, the exercise, getting the steps up, you really truly do see parts of places that you wouldn't otherwise see. And by all means, My favourite is really to do one-way walks rather than circular, and use public transport to get back to the starting point if I drove there, or continue my journey onwards from wherever it is. London's brilliant for that. Obviously, most big cities are, with a decent public transport. You need to be a little bit more imaginative if you're doing it out in the countryside, but again, walking from one station to another using an app like Go Jauntly can be a very, very pleasurable experience. Seems to be a kind of a lake over there. Not too many people over there, but I'll stick to the path. It looks quite muddy along that way. Well. I really didn't know Tooting Common was as extensive as this. I really didn't. So, fantastic thing to find out this morning. I imagine this gets really busy in summer as well. And it's pretty chilly old Saturday morning, but there's lots of people in here. Walking just next to the main Brighton to London, London to Brighton, Victoria to Brighton main line. The train's just whizzing by. Bit of a muddy little section this, but I'll persevere with it. There's been so much rain recently, it's been incredible, so this is hardly surprising. So just emerging from the other side of Tooting Common, plural, and very nice too. And I know I've said it a few times in this last few minutes, but a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, and a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Fantastic. So good resource for the people of this part of London, and certainly been well used as well. We'll be back on mostly suburban roads now, residential roads, as I head into Streatham to finish this final section of the Sutton Loop. I also didn't realise Streatham was so close to Tooting Common, but there you go. I mean, obviously the two places are reasonably close, but if you live just here in Streatham itself, then it's literally 5 minutes back there to the, this end of it. Well, we've done it. And just round this corner to the right will be Streatham Station. So it's taken 2 days. The old legs can't manage to do all of that in one day. This is, I guess, Streatham High Street. or high road, and where I started off yesterday, coming out to Streatham station, and carried on in the opposite, well, in the direction I'm walking right now, off down there towards Streatham Common station. As I said at the time, that's not actually part of the loop, but the route to Mitcham Eastfields takes you down that way and past that station, which is on the Victoria to Brighton main line. So that is it. Thank you for watching. If you've only just happened upon part 3, there is a parts 1 and 2 from Streatham to Sutton. Part 2 is Sutton to Wimbledon, and this one you've just watched, Wimbledon back to Streatham, walking the famous or infamous Sutton Loop, and it didn't cost me a penny. Although I must confess, I do have a little blister on one of my toes, but I think that was down to a poor choice of socks rather than the distance involved. The total distance, I think, once I look, will be somewhere around 20 to 22 miles. Didn't exactly walk as the crow flies, partly because I used an app called Go Jauntily, which will take you on little windy routes here and there through nicer parts, other than walking along busy roads like this all the time. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please press like, press subscribe if you want to see some more, and the yellow bell thing. You know the drill. If you want to be notified of further videos. So I'm going to go and get a coffee now. Maybe an M&S sandwich, since there's an M&S food hall right there. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Cheers now. Bye.